Welcome back to Sushi Live Noding. In this episode, I want to play around with the idea of using convex hull of any 3D objects and kind of try to make something out of it. So let's get started. Gonna delete everything and gonna turn on CyberTruck Node 3. So I use CyberTruck a lot because it's got a lot of really interesting nodes, and I still figure out like maybe there's like unlimited ideas that you can create using the nodes. So Convex Hull is really interesting nodes. It's only accepting vertices input and it's outputting something, and you can have Convex Hull in 3D or 2D. With 2D you can actually try using grease pencil, but let's start with something 3D. For example, random vector, and we can output a viewer draw for now. So let's create something, plug this in random vector into the convex hull, and you start to get random shapes. Okay, so this is interesting for me. You can just bake it out and you get as shapes. What's interesting with convex hull is even if you try to mirror shapes, and you get kind of shapes that can give you some kind of a imaginations. Like you can think of this like some kind of Lego shapes that you can build. I mean, if you go outside and then find random shapes of stones and then try to build something out of it. So this is actually the whole idea. So random, if you increase the number of random, you eventually get something that's more rounded. So this is also kind of useful. So it can be anything, can be the head. So either with convex hull you get shapes that's either sharp or just rounded, but you can also, for example, use something like Suzanne, plug in the vertices. We know the shape of Suzanne, right? This is just kind of drawing the convex hull around it. If you don't know what's convex hull already, if I turn off the face, you can see that shapes. If I create bmesh and just output Suzanne, you can see the convex hull is kind of wrapping around 3D. So this is kind of useful as well. You can, if you want to wrap Suzanne head very quickly, you can use convex hull. Okay, so let's delete Suzanne. We just look at the convex hull, turn on the face. If we bake it, we have something that's looking like, it looks like the CyberTruck a little bit. I mean, if you use a bit of imaginations. So especially if this is kind of metallic, let's turn everything metallic just to play around with the idea. There we go. Save this very quickly. Play hull. And so with Suzanne, you can actually kind of randomize it, or try also use Cricut. We have Cricut nodes, and Cricut nodes is actually a Cricut, but the hull is actually kind of interesting as well. So these shapes can be, maybe can be the body. So you can see with symmetrical objects, the hull is actually kind of interesting as well. You can perhaps start to generate some kind of robot design using the hull. It looks like what's interesting about the hull is not very random. It can look very should I say, like a hard surface model kind of thing. So rotate in Z. rotate in X or rotate in Y. So I like that shape a lot, and just simply play around with these random shapes, and try also using mirror because that can be very useful. So let's do something. Let's create this convex hull, not from Cricut. Let's try random vector, right? But however, we're gonna mirror it. Let's also use randomize input, so you can randomize the points in X or in Y or in the Z axis, and then here you can mirror it. By default is mirror in X, so it's good. So we have all these random shapes that can be used. And like I said, this is kind of like hard surface modeling type, and you can always maybe bevel it, so looking quite nice. And you can turn on clipping or turn on bisect. That's looking like a spaceship already. You just need to add more details, of course, but the random shapes interest me a lot. So add more vertices, randomize the seed, and randomize in the Z or the X or the Y axis. So perhaps we can end up with a new design. It's kind of like a cyberpunk shapes for a car. You can of course add more details, combine the shapes together, just to be creative. And you can end up with a new design and just combine them together and then just remesh it or something. It's always kind of nice. So this is some kind of robot. Oh, actually it could be like Star Wars kind of design. Yeah, why not? It's a hard surface modeling, randomly we generate design. So again, it's bisect on and off. You can even flip it. So mirror working together with the bevel and with this shape randomizer. I actually like to turn off bisect to get more interesting shapes. If you're happy with the shapes, if you're happy with this, you can actually just use the remesh, voxel or quad. 5 voxel remesh, and this become a cleaner surface than before. There's even quadrille flow. Okay, that's interesting that it's added in. Okay, that's doesn't keep the shapes, but it's actually not too bad. You can perhaps sculpt it further, but yeah, this is like an idea of how you can use convex hull nodes in SpreadShop just to generate random shapes, just to get your creative mind to start shaping it into a new design. Alright, yeah, I'll probably play around with this further. Thanks again for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.